Hey everybody, so today I wanted to go back in time and look at the portfolio that I showed to IBM during my interview process. One, just to see what I presented, two, to help others who might be presenting in a similar way where they're in an interview and they need to show portfolio work, and they might be like me, a person who at the time didn't have that much work to show. For context, I'm Richard Bowden. I'm currently a UX designer. I worked at IBM. I worked with Super Friendly. Right now I'm working with another employer that I can't say by name because of legal stuff. I transitioned from graphic design to UX design in 2021. And I think it's still applicable, the things that I went through, to what people are currently going through with the UX design market. So I want to show you all what I presented going from graphic design to UX design, because I think it'll be helpful for you all to see someone else's portfolio or someone else's presentation that they did if you're also interviewing for interviewing for employment. I guess what I'm going to do is walk through it as if I'm judging it for the first time. And kind of point out things that I think I was thinking at the time of making this. I might be correct. I might be not entirely sure what I was thinking, but this should be fun for me, and hopefully it's going to be useful for you all. So let's get started. So I created this portfolio in Figma. At the time, I had no coding background. I think I might have used Squarespace once or twice. But I made it in Figma. I honestly made this thinking that I wasn't going to get the job. So I was like, I might as well have fun with it, make it quickly, and put my best personality forward. Just so you know my mindset or frame of thinking. So looking at the first page, I think it's just an intro card that tells them who I am and what they're about to view. So 2021 portfolio of Richard Bowden. A bit of branding here. I guess this might have been at the time doing gradients for backgrounds and stuff. But yeah, let's walk through. I'm sure at this point I was like, hey, I'm Richard Bowden, and nice to meet you guys. I'm going to present my 2021 portfolio. Okay, then I gave them an agenda of what they expected to see here, which is, I think, a great thing to do in any kind of meeting with different people. It's just to set the context of what they're coming to do. So they're coming to get, they see that we're doing a portfolio, but then they see, okay, the intro is going to be an intro that you expect it to be. I'm going to present a Vaxxed app that I did in Google UX design, because I did the Google UX design certificate back in 2021, and I was presenting a app that was a result of that certification. And then after that, a bit of Q&A. This setup, I think, was formatted based on IBM's interviewing practice at the time. So I think they wanted me to present one case or one case study. And then after that case study presentation, I would do a Q&A with the people left in the room. So yeah, let's go. All right, so this is just a kind of an about me. I guess this is the intro where I'm going, hey, I'm Rich. I like creating digital experiences for everybody. And then these are the places that I think I worked, and the Google badge for I did the certificate for Google. One of the good things I like about this is that there's not a lot on this slide. It's just my face, a few words, some badges, and then some key things. 3 years of experience. I've done user experience design. I've done graphic design. Those drop shadows are kind of crazy, but anyway, yeah, I think this works as a good intro slide. I think if advice I would give, a little bit more personality. I think some of it comes through in the typography choices, in the photo, but a little bit more about who Richie is would be great. So yeah, if you're doing yours the same way, I think maybe putting hey, a picture of your dog or a picture of you rock climbing or boxing or something. just to get a little more personality out there. That'd be great. And then this is the app that I made for the Google UX Design Certificate. And maybe I'll do a Google UX Design Certificate thoughts or a review. Maybe I'll do a review for people to see what that was like, going through that. And I know it's been a while since I've done it, so it might not be the most accurate review, but I mean, I went through the certificate and came out ready to work. So anyway, this is just introing the vaccinating app, it looks like. Empowering singles to connect during COVID without the worry. Nice little tagline, so you kind of get the gist of what's happening here. Looks like I got some of the end product, which I think is always a nice touch to do. Like, show me what you're going to show me, but like get to the work quickly. And there it is right there. I say my role, my duration for 2 months, and the client, which is a Google UX Design Certificate, which I think I had other work that was actual client work, but I think I actually felt like I could present more enthusiastically. It's more interesting than the work that I had from a client, and it worked out. It was a great choice of mine. So yeah, I think this is a nice bit of branding at the top with a green bar, and then that color's echoed in this bolding, or not bolding, but emphasis here. So yeah, I think there's some good choices. The green pops there. Good choices in color. Typography looks good. That bar looks a little weird, but yeah, looking at this as a person who's been in design, I'd be like, yeah, this guy, I'd hire him for some UX work. But yeah, moving on. Okay, hi, I'm Jerry. I want to get back into dating scene without putting my family at risk. So this was, I think, showing the user first, or who the person is that you are solving the problem for. I know a lot of people like to see, like, what's the problem that I'm solving? Why am I doing this? And I think that was what this was. It was like, I'm showing the user and the problem at the same time. The user is Jerry. He's 25. He's semi-oriented, account manager. He's single. And like, what are we doing here? We're trying to help him get back into the dating scene without putting his family at risk. I don't know exactly the script or what I was saying, but I'm assuming that's what I was thinking. And there's a lot of ways people could do this. They could have went a route where it's like an actual user persona they built out that's like a lot of like data and stuff like that. But I think as far as storytelling, this is really effective, and that like you see Jerry and you kind of know what he wants. So yeah, I think I did good with this thing. So cool. There's some weird shadowing right there though around Jerry's face, but anyway. So I think I'm taking them through what I was doing on a process level. So first I was empathizing with the user, and the methods I used: user interviews, empathy maps, personas, blah, blah, blah. Just to show them what I was using in order to empathize with people. Some pain points that came through this empathize phase, I think. So yeah, these are all things that came out of the UX Google Design Certificate. So if you think about taking it, use some artifacts that I had from it. So this is cool, just to see that, oh, he knows how to do user interviews, empathy maps, blah, 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 blah. He knows how these things work. So I think that's, if you do empathize, or if you do a stage of empathizing, I would show how you did that. I think it's really just to show that you like did some sort of user research. So if you can do that, I think you're golden. I think there's some balance issues visually, but again, this isn't like they weren't there to critique my visuals. They were there to like find potential people to work with, I think. So moving on. All right, define. Oh, that's really close to the edge. Anyway, define. So the define stage, problem statement: Jerry is a busy single account manager who needs a way to meet single women in his area because he wants to date but doesn't want to put his family at risk when he visits them. Okay, cool. Goal statement: the Vax app will let users match with other vaccinated singles. I like this bolding too. Jerry meets single women, doesn't want to put his family at risk. Pretty good. Our Vax app will let users match with other vaccinated singles, which will affect users attempting to be COVID safe by allowing them to see, there's a lot of text, but whatever, I'm scrolling. By allowing them to see who is vaccinated at a glance. It will measure effectiveness by monitoring connections, communications, and desirability. So this is like great to say that, okay, we've done some user research and now we are defining what we want to do. Yeah, there's some type stuff here that visually I would fix. But from a UX design perspective, I think this is great. Moving on. Who will be his matchmaker? So this slide isn't a part of any sort of design process. I think this is more so for storytelling. So who's going to get him to match, who's going to get Jerry to match with singles that are, I guess, COVID safe, you know. I could have done a lot of things here. I could have gone in different ways, a lot of different ways. But I think my arc in the story of like, okay, I've got a guy who has a problem and now he's looking for someone to help him solve that problem. So I think this is like, who is going to help him do that. Visually, this is great, I feel like. I mean, the type, the letting out is a little weird, but I think as far as like getting people interested and involved in what I'm presenting, this is pretty good because they're like, I am curious, like who's going to be the person that does it, right? Yeah, I think this is a nice little slide that like intros the next part. I don't know what I actually said during the scripting, or I don't actually know what I said during the actual interview, but I'm just guessing. That's what I was saying. Like, yeah. So I was talking about who's going to be his matchmaker, who's going to get him to be matched with singles he wants. And I think this is like, the idea was the process in finding that matchmaker. So this ideation phase, some methods I used during ideation, competitive audit. Oh, I guess so. I find this more researchy, but whatever. How might we questions, crazy eights. So this is cool that it shows some artifacts. I'm always kind of conflicted when people show a bunch of just like design artifacts because I'm more interested in the story or like just give me the like visuals really quickly. But in the situation of this where I am looking to tell a story, I think showing artifacts is fine, probably better. So they can see you actually did work, especially if you're transitioning or you're more junior. If you're more senior, they'll assume that you've done stuff, I feel like. But anyway, the pain points that I use to ideate: COVID safety, COVID filtering, vaccine verification, vaccine badges, contactless connections, video calling feature, unfair banning, system of appeals. So pain points that I must have gotten from ideating. Cool. Again, I'm doing this 3 years later, so it's like I'm trying to remember what I was saying. But yeah, I think this is a nice little slide. I think this is more ideation. Sketching, then I wireframed, and then I prototyped, and then I tested. So it seems like this is my ideation process. Outline user flows, then I storyboarded, and then I did an information architecture, and then I did paper wireframes, and I did digital wireframes. Lo-fi mockups, lo-fi prototype, then round 2, hi-fi mockups. This is a lot that I was doing, so that's cool. I wouldn't do it now, but I think it's really cool to show if I'm like coming in as a junior, like to show that what I've been up to. Test, and I do like this like sketch, do these things, wireframe, do these things. That setup's kind of cool. And then in testing, use a research plan, usability study, affinity diagram, identify patterns and themes, insight identification. So I did a lot of stuff here. So that's kind of cool. I like all that. Don't know what I was talking about, but I'm assuming I was taking them through my ideation process. So cool. Jerry, meet Vaxxed. I think the idea was I was going through those phases, and at the end of the ideation phase was the product Vaxxed. So yeah, at the end of the ideation phase, the product was Vaxxed. And again, I tied it back to Jerry, the user, meet your matchmaker or meet your solution in this case. I do like how this is laid out. Might be a little clutter, but need some more breathing room. But I think visually this is great. It's just, I don't know what I said, but I'm assuming I was saying this is Vaxxed. This is the matchmaker for Jerry. And looking at some of this, it looks good. Looks like a little app. All right, solutions. So pain points. So I think I'm again calling back to the pain points that I found in the ideation phase. I think it was COVID safety things, the contactless connections thing, user uncertainties, unfair banning. Cool. Ban appeal for the banning, future exploration for uncertainty. Cool. Contactless connections. So you can text, it looks like, and you can call people. Filter options, vaccine badges, vaccine verification. So I think it's just showing them like the different pain points that I ideate on. These are the end products of all the ideation. So this is cool. I feel like if I was looking at someone do this work coming out of a UX design certificate, I'm like, that certificate did you well. More story. Did Jerry ever find his love? I think this was, instead of going You know, having a slide that's just like results, or like having a screen that says results, this is a little better. If you're following a story thread asking, did Jerry ever find his love? Let's see. Ways for us to measure success. I think this is me talking about if I were to launch Vax, these are the metrics I would use to see if Jerry successfully met his person or not. So let's see here. Ways for us to measure success: connections, so use logins, user matches, communication, messages, open. So these are like just buckets that metrics we dropped into. So this is just showing that I am thinking of how I would measure success for this. Learnings. Okay, so when thinking about accessibility, consider one solution of adding alt text to images is great, but if users are the writers, then how accurately are they describing images? If AI is used, then how can we protect against bias in machine-read text? So I was thinking about AI back then. That's pretty cool. I also learned that competitive audits could be a massive resource for figuring out what gaps to fill. This is just great for letting the interviewers know that I am learning and I know that I don't know everything. And at the end of the project, I took a second to think about what I didn't know. So that's good to show. Cool. Moving on. Next steps. Design handoff. Hand off design so that a dev can begin. So that a devs can begin. A lot of typos in here. I don't know how I got through, but I'll take it. This includes assets, Figma files, documentation, design system, beta testing, UAT testing, begin beta testing with real users, user arrangements. Okay, cool. So it's just what I would do if this were a real thing. Beta testing, UAT testing, cool. Okay, I think this is like sequential, like design handoff, beta testing for their ideation. Cool, I think this works. Again, there's some type things I would change about this, but I think this works. I wouldn't be mad at this. Thanks. Ready for questions, Q&A. Cool. I think that was probably like a 8-minute presentation that showed I know the process, I know a process, and I produced good looking work. And I'll tell a story. I'm assuming I was very personable and had a great energy about me. So yeah, I think that might have all confounded into getting me the job at IBM. You can put a lot of thought into your presentation, but at the end of the day, I will put the most thought into how you tell the story and showing, I guess, not just showing your work, but like showing your passion. I think that's really what got me through the interview process, was just like being a friendly person, showing my passion for design. Yeah, I think I could probably find my feedback from the interview if I really look for it. But I know that part of it was that they enjoyed the storytelling and the energy I brought to the interview. So this is probably helpful for some people to see what to do for their portfolio interviews or their presentations to design managers and hiring managers. If not, leave a comment and I will answer you. I'll probably keep this going. Maybe next I'll do a review on the Google Design certificate from 2021. So I don't know if this is like accurate, or I don't know if this is going to be helpful, but I'm trying to be as helpful as I can to people trying to get into UX design now, when I know it's such a tough industry to be inside. So hopefully this is not a waste of time for you and you got some valuable insight from it. So yeah, talk to you later.